right, we're going to start with the nation. Wike rejects one-on-one parley with Atiku over crisis. Banks take over discos, new boards for Kaduna Kano Benin distribution companies. How to avert another recession by LCCI. Thugs attack Amotekun boss. Traveling Buhari's guards in gun battle with bandits. 29,128 make 2022 Hajj trip, says Nakon. Judge sacked for dissolving marriage, marrying woman. That was in Lagos State. So which story are we starting with?
So banks have taken over the Kaduna Kano Benin discos and the Ibadan discos. According to them, these 4 discos are to be managed by new boards following their takeover by those banks. And the Kaduna and one of them, Fidelity Bank and Afrexim Bank, will collateralize the shares of Kano, Benin, and Kaduna discos. They've also appointed boards for them. They call them placeholder boards till they effect this. We know that some of these discos have not been doing well so far. And I hope that this takeover means that they get more capital to do better. I hope it's not just a takeover because they're failing and business as usual.
Yeah, so the attention of the state government has been drawn to a viral video circulating social media space wherein they said Mr. Olayemi Ayeni, who is the complainant, alleged that a former customary court member, Mr. Ishola Razaki Adeyemi, abused his office by exhibiting unprofessional conduct in a customary court case involving the complainant and his wife, and proceeded to snatch his wife and children from him. Now, this matter happened between 2014 and 2015 and was investigated by the Lagos State Judicial Service Commission. The findings of the investigation was what led to the termination of the appointment of the member of the customary court. But then a viral video was posted at the time in 2016, and members of the public kept, calling on the state to do something about it. However, the state have been trying to reach this man in question. They are putting this up now so that anybody who has an information about him can, give it to them. So they are saying you can see SVRT on Twitter or DSVA on Instagram so that they can follow up with the man.
Amotekun boss was attacked. Actually, it wasn't directed at the Amotekun boss, but a gunfire ensued and he was caught in between. So the situation was that in Oshogbo local government specifically, the local government chairman, Isale Oshun, Oshogbo, Oshun State, the local government chairman's name is Bolaji Jimo, and he's been accused of conniving with National Population Commission, NPC. So some thugs came, masked thugs. They came in in a branded SUV. So it wasn't like any small car, or they came in a big SUV, and they came with dangerous weapons, pump-action guns, and they were shooting at the Amotekun personnel that were trying to protect the local government chairman, and they shot at him. They didn't say there was anybody injured or anybody died. That wasn't reported. The report just carried that Amotekun boss was attacked. Comrade Oshu Amotekun comrade Amitolu Shitu, they attacked him with a new pump-action gun. And Amotekun's press release after that was that we're not that Amotekun is not partisan. They are not protecting any high and mighty person. They just want to ensure that everyone's life within the community they are matters. And I don't know, I don't know who is sponsoring, because this certainly was a sponsored attack. Somebody sponsored to attack another person, and we're not even in election period yet. Let us just calm down.
Okay, so Governor Wike and the Atiku brouhaha has yet to end, because Governor Wike has rejected one-on-one parley with the presidential flag bearer Atiku for PDP. He's insisting that Atiku has been insincere and that he should rather speak to his strategy team, which composed of Governor Seyi Makinde, Samuel Otom of Benue State, ex-governors Hassan Jakombo and others. Those are the members of the strategy team, that he should liaise with them, not him directly. And his grouse was that they need to explain why IU and Atiku, that's the chairman of the VLC, must explain why they did not accept the recommendation by the committee, the 17-man committee, 14 of which had recommended that Governor Wike should be the vice presidential candidate. They also need a restructuring of the party that includes the removal of the current BOT chairman, which is IU, adherence to the power rotation between the North and South, intra-party inclusion, and offers on the table for the Wike's camp if Atiku wins the presidential poll. So, according to them, there were a lot of those things that were agreed within our parties, which Atiku backed on. He turned his back on. And that's why Wike is insisting that he's not going to have a one-on-one with him. He's talked to his strategy team going forward. There are talks of PDP trying to make Governor Wike the chairman, the DG of the Atiku campaign team. That would be great, but unfortunately, he's not even listening to them right now.
He's still
Okay, let's move on to the Punch. COVID-19 cases jumped by 67% in 2 weeks. Picture story of passengers traveling to the north for Salah. Government abduct Chinese at Kwara Quarry. Kill policeman. 1,300 canoe intending pilgrims still stranded. Lagos couple lose 4 children in midnight fire. Khan disowns Ondo pastor arrested for alleged abduction. Subsidy probe reps summon Emefiele, Sylvia, Ahmed and Kyari. Terrorists attack Buhari's advance team, kill 2 policemen. Lagos Kano FCT Ogun lead telecom subscribers growth. And state chairman reject Wike's camp anti-IU plot. Okay, let's start with the
story, very sad story of a couple, Chukwudi Michael and Bolani Michael, lost 4 of their children to a fire that happened in their 2-room apartment on Tapa Road, Oke-Oko, Isawo, Ikorodu area of Lagos State. Said the fire started at about 1 a.m. on Sunday, June 26th, and one of the children, Jeremiah, died on the spot. So there was one of them that survived. I think the girl who was sleeping in the room with the parents. But then this man said he heard the screams of his children and he woke up. And by the time he got there, fire had broken out in the house and he had to scream for his neighbors to come in to help rescue the children. They were able to rescue the 4 of them. One was already burnt to badly burnt. He died on the spot. The other 3 they were able to take to the hospital, but he also died. So he had lost his 4 sons. One is Prayer, 18 years old, Trust in God, 14, and Ibube, 10. Jeremiah, 12-year-old, was the one that died on the spot. So he said that the fire service did not even show up till the next morning after the neighbors had helped to put out the fire. The police fire service are saying that they showed up and they were able to rescue 5 persons from the incident. Investigations are ongoing. We right now do not know the cause of the fire. My heart really goes out to them. It's a painful thing to lose children like that.
4 children, 1 night. God forbid.
Then I take the major headline. According to the NCDC, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, the COVID-19 cases have continued to spike up. According to them, in weeks 21 and 22, they had about 15,347 cases. But in week 23 and 24, they had 75,277 reported cases. That's according to their test, which is about 67% increase. And, you know, the UK also is presently dealing with increase in COVID-19 cases, but I'll take the report of the Pilgrim Professor of Public Health at the University of Ilorin, Professor Tanimola, talking about pilgrims going for testing and, you know, this making them discover more cases, saying that COVID-19 is not going anywhere. It has not gone anywhere. It's just that, you know, it's no longer as, dangerous as it was because a lot of people are now vaccinated. And so people are more protected and they're not just falling over by that. But, you know, the test will still reveal that there is COVID-19 cases out there.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. You have a story in Punch?
Yes, so sad story of a Chinese man kidnapped in Shao, Kwara State, Shao local government, Shao in Moro local government of Kwara State. So this Chinese man works in the quarry. A policeman was shot dead. Another policeman sustained gunshot injury. At the State Police PRO, SP Ajayi Akosami, confirms the story that the command is working around the clock to get the victim rescued and the perpetrators apprehended. However, it was saying that the heart goes out to the family of the policeman who lost his life and that the entire police command within the state of Kwara has been thrown into mourning because of the killing of one of their operatives. The response from the Kwara State House of Assembly was to urge the Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, to direct the 16 local government areas to strengthen the local vigilante. When I read that, I had to say it because they did not ask for the police to be strengthened. They asked for the local vigilantes to be strengthened. Obviously, we need state policing, and I don't know how long it will take us to repeat it, but we'll keep on saying it until they get it.
Okay, so I was going to take the story. The CAN president, Reverend Dr. Samson Ayokunle, has distanced the whole of CAN from the assistant pastor of Whole Bible Believers Church, Hosea Peter Asumosa, who was the one that was arrested for detaining children and family members in his bunker. Remember, if you recall, we took the reports where they had promised that he knew the date of rapture, and they've been there. So the pastor, Samson Ayokunle, said that it is totally wrong for anybody that is not a real pastor. No true pastor would claim to know the date of the rapture, because the Bible said that it's clear that only God knows the date. And he has asked that the security officers to investigate and ensure that they prosecute him accordingly, and his entire cohort, if they are found guilty of breaking any law in the country. Okay, let's move on quickly now to Daily Sun. Vice presidential slot, APC, LP, NNPP, other step-up consultations. Bandits attack Buhari's advance convoy in Katsina, 2 injured. Oshunguba, INEC takes tough stance against vote buying and vote selling. Again, FG rules out removal of petrol subsidy. Dangote launches cement promo with 32.3 million gifts. NSIA Netherlands firm enter into $50 million carbon reduction deal. Shun tribal sentiments, vote competent president in 2023. Ohaneze tells Nigerians. And Senate seat, APC insists on Lawan and Akpabio. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Oshunguba, INEC, of course, is warning that, they're going to do everything possible to prevent vote buying during the Oshun elections, July 16, as next Upper Saturday. And that, the trend that, people thought was allowed during the Ekiti elections will be prevented completely. This was according to the Oyo State's resident electoral commissioner for INEC.
Okay, let me link that to the story with the APC and the other parties. So INEC has given the July 15th deadline. All the APC, LP, NNPP had put placeholders for their VP stores. INEC said you have to July 15th. So all their consultations must end on or before that day to provide the dates.
9 more days to go.
They have 9 more. So LP is saying that they should be ready by Friday to get their own VP stores. Obviously, the APC is inundated with all the issues concerning the Muslim tickets, because many are saying that's the best option. However, the Christian community are saying they are speaking against it. Afenifere has spoken against it. Khan has spoken against it, saying that they shouldn't try it. So it's a huge selection between the devil and the deep blue sea. Which one do you go for? We'll see how they decide. Okay, any other story?
So the national women's leader of Ohaneze Ndibo, Rita Chukwuji, yesterday appealed to Nigerians to think about the future of the country and its economy while considering the presidential candidate to support in the next year's election. So she was asking that it's very important that we consider we drop ethnic considerations and vote a credible and competent candidate for the 2023. And she was reminding Nigerians that all the challenges we face in security, poverty, and all other socioeconomic challenges does not know any form of nationality. It affects all Nigerians. And so we need to be very careful on how we decide who will hold the flag for us in 2023. And he said that that's the Ohaneze women, had chosen to embrace a competent candidate that will rebuild the country and its economy for the better. And they went ahead to advise that what we need now is to make sure that everybody gets their PVC so that we can go out and vote for the people we believe can take Nigeria to a higher place.
So let me take the story of I didn't know there was something called NSIA. This is my first time. Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority. I've entered into an agreement with Vitol, a Netherlands counterparts, and the conversation is to create a $50 million carbon reduction deal. And this process is to help reduce emission. The Nigerian government is saying that natural gas is their own pathway into reducing emission. They say that they are joining Russia in planning for 2060, as opposed to the Europe and US saying 2050 zero net emission. I'm a bit worried about when we sign all these agreements because we need to increase production. And you will see China, India, they're not entering into this kind of deals because they know that any deal they enter into might stop them from increasing production capacity and getting their own source of energy as cheap as possible. But the good news here is it is not just Nigeria. It's about supporting companies that are promoting green energy. So these funds would be available to companies that are promoting green energy, and you can apply for it, obviously.
Okay, moving on quickly now to Vanguard. Salah bandits attack Buhari's advanced security convoy. Why monthly fuel subsidy costs shot up by 989% in 7 years. AGF, Enamikwe removed over borrowing to pay salaries comment. Cracks in ASU as medical lecturers distance themselves from strike. UK court to sentence 85-year-old Nigerian-born doctor for killing woman during procedure. Dangote Cement to reward customers with 1 billion naira in new promo. Missing certificate, I made second best WAEC result in 1976 is Okowa. We'll adopt ways to defend our people, Southwest governors. And why Obi Koganso stocks collapse, Okukwe and Ume. This story, and we were seeing the picture story, the president receiving the head of OPEC, and it was sad like that. Unfortunately, he passed on many hours after that, 11 p.m. that evening. I was really, really sad. Wow.
Very sad.
Yeah.
So the presidency has hailed the gallantry of the security aides to the president who were deployed ahead of his visit to Daura for the Salah celebration and were attacked by bandits on the way, but they, opened fire on the bandits and repelled the bandits back into their hideouts. But unfortunately, in the same story, the Assistant Commissioner of Police, ACP Aminu Umar, in charge of the Dusima Area Command in Katsina, was ambushed and killed by bandits in a fierce gun duel. This for me is so sad that, it's gotten to this point. We hear these stories every day, but then when our presidency, is convoy and team, are no longer safe, we can safely admit that this has become a serious national issue because it's no longer the way they put it. It's
beyond serious.
Beyond serious. It's the worst of worst.
So another story, Isiaka Maman, an 85-year-old Nigerian-born doctor, is to be sentenced by the Manchester Crown Court for gross negligence and manslaughter of a patient at the Royal Oldham Hospital, United Kingdom. Now, according to the Manchester Evening News in September 2018, they said Maman, despite objections from the patient, so the patient and the husband, he attempted a dangerous procedure. And that procedure was taking a bone marrow sample from the woman's sternum after failing to obtain a sample from her hip in the first attempt. Now, they said he inserted the biopsy needle but missed the sternum altogether, causing a fatal puncture wound to the pericardium, which encloses the heart. The mother of three lost consciousness immediately. Her husband came running out of the room shouting, "He killed her, he killed her." I told him to stop 3 times. He did not listen. And she was pronounced dead later that day. So they have also said that this mama 3 years earlier carried out almost the same procedure on a 64-year-old man who suffered cardiac arrest the same day. Although that one survived, he was left permanently disabled and suffering from mobility problems. So he's going to be sentenced because of that negligence. And they are also having conversations about his age. Said he presented a different age when he came into work. He's been working in the UK since 1991. They are not really sure.
That's a long time.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Okay, I have the story. The chairman of the Governors Forum, Southwestern Governors Forum, Governor Ikorodu, was speaking in the station yesterday, saying that Southwest would have to protect themselves. That they've learned lessons from the Owo massacre, and that they cannot continue to secure Nigeria with the Central Police Command in Abuja. That we need to have state police. It's a situation where one commander sits in Abuja to give orders to the rest of the country is no longer fashionable. It can't work. Says that we know the limitations of our security, which have caused what we have right now. The worst insecurity has to be controlled. Nigeria must begin to seriously consider the issue of state police. So he's saying they will adopt ways of defending their own people. They don't need to tell us exactly how they plan to do that, but they cannot sit back and wait, and they have to ensure that the Southwest region at least is secured. Okay, any other story in Vanka? Let's move on quickly now to the Nigerian Tribune. Workers threaten to shut down port operation at Nigeria's largest containers terminal. Terrorists attack Buhari's advance team in Katsina. We talked about that earlier. Federal government to Britain. It's time for our looted artifacts to return home. Hajj, Nakun transport 29,128 pilgrims, 920 officials in 73 flights. Atiku's absence amid crisis causes anxiety amongst PDP stakeholders. We will call off strike immediately if FG accepts the UTAS and honors 2009 agreement, says ASU. Controversial 4.194 trillion subsidy payment, Accountant General's office opens up. Okay.
So let me take the federal government to Britain. The Minister for Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, stated during his visit to London, he was at the British Museum. He said that the British authority has taken care of our artifacts long enough, that they have no right to keep holding on to it. That at first the British authority was like, we didn't ask for our artifacts back. But now we have asked that a formal letter was written in October last year, 9 months ago, a formal request for the return of all the Benin bronzes, all the artifacts, and that they've been clamoring for these things to be returned. That Germany has already returned some, and Germany did not colonize Nigeria. That Belgium, France are cooperating and returning. Even Canada has promised to return, but Britain hasn't. About 1,130 Benin bronze heads, you know, and other artifacts are being kept in good condition by the British, but we're asking
we want it now. They have helped us. God bless them.
Thank you.
That's the hot topic. I don't even know what you want. Anyway, let's go. We're going to come back. Move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.